Today I want to talk to you about hand hygiene and hand washing. It's really important that we do hand washing because it stops the spread of organisms from patient to patient and around the environment of the hospital. There are two ways we can decontaminate our hands. That's soap and water, and there's decontamination with alcohol gel. We're going to look at them individually, but the first one I'm going to look at is simply washing our hands. The video will show you how you wash your hands, but I'm going to talk you through it as well. The first thing you need to do is find a sink with a tap that's running. The tap should be able to do hot and cold. If it's got a single tap with one hot, one cold, then please do use the cold, because the hot may be too hot for you to put your hands underneath it, and you can wash your hands in cold water. The next thing is, once you've got the taps running and you've got it set to a temperature you like, then wet them. It's really important that you wet your hands because the soap you're going to use is a detergent. It is a chemical and it will dry your skin out. So you need a layer of water on there to protect your hands. So put that on before you put the soap on. So once you've got your hands wet, put your soap on, and as you can see, you've got to lather all the areas of your hand. These include your palms. This one everybody is very good at. The backs of your hands, between your fingers in what they call the webbing, and along your fingers. Your fingernails, including the quicks, your thumb, and lastly your wrists. And it's usually a hand's width along your wrists. Once you've covered all the areas, then you need to rinse off that soap. When you're rinsing them off, it needs to be under running water. We don't want people putting their hands into bowls of water, because all you do then is you put your hands into the bowl, wash off the bugs, and when you take your hands back out again, you pick them all back up again. So always make sure it's just under running water. It's really important that you dry your hands thoroughly, because at the end of the day you'll have poor skin condition and we are going to be asking you to wash your hands a lot during the day. So you will strip out all your natural oils to your skin. So we do provide in black dispensers on the walls in the wards moisturizer. Please do use them, because you need to put that oils back into your hands. It is really important that you do. But do it in an appropriate time. The other way you can decontaminate your hands is the alcohol or sanitizing gel. The principles are the same as hand washing, as you'll see in the video. The only difference is that you don't use water. So this can be done anywhere within the hospital. When you put the gel on, you only need to get one squirt out of the bottle. If you put too much on, it'll take you a long time to rub it all in. So get the gel onto your hands and cover all the areas that you did with your hand washing. Don't stop covering them until it's either completely dry, you can't feel it or smell it. That way you know you've killed off all the organisms on your hands. In these videos you'll see the training sessions that we use and the cream we use to simulate the bugs on your hands. The cream is a fluorescent particles in it that will show up under a blue light. So when you put it on your hands, it glows bright white. If you wash it off properly, it doesn't. So in this first videos where people wash their hands properly, you'll see that when their hands go under the blue light, there is no white areas showing. It shows they've washed all the cream off their hands, so there will be no bugs left. On the one where they don't wash their hands properly, you'll see that there are bright white areas still remaining. This is where bugs will be living. So the main areas that people miss, as you can see, are between the fingers, the thumbs, along the fingernails, and sometimes the wrist. So these areas people need to concentrate on when they're washing their hands. In this video, somebody's putting on the cream to simulate alcohol gel. This one, when it goes under the bright white light, we want to see coverage, so everywhere should be covered white. If they do it correctly, you won't see any dark areas, it will be completely white, and that's what we want to see. In the next one, you'll see that this is somebody who hasn't done it appropriately, and you'll see that there are areas that are still dark. This means they haven't got complete coverage with the alcohol gel, and there are still areas where bugs could be living. So when they put the alcohol gel on, you'll usually find it could be the thumb that's missed, between the fingers and the wrists. And on some people it could be completely different between the hand washing and the gel. So it's important they see both sides of it. In this video you'll see that the person isn't bare below the elbows, so they're wearing rings and they have long nails. But once they wash their hands, you'll notice in the ring where the stones are, it's still glowing white, and this is where the bugs are still sitting. In this picture you can see a sink that's cluttered with lots of objects. We don't want people to have lots of objects around the sink, because if you watch this video, you will see that when you wash off your hands, everything you wash off gets splattered around the sink. And you're normally talking about a draining board width either side of the sink and in front. So whatever's around that sink will then get covered with all those microbes and bacteria you've washed off your hands, and then could be taken to the patient. So please make sure that all hand hygiene sinks are clear of any clutter. As you remember from your last infection control training, we talked about the 5 moments of hand hygiene. And if you think back to the 5th one, it's about touching the patient's environment. When you touch the patient's environment, you will pick up organisms, and if you don't wash your hands between them, you will transmit them to the next environment. This will be shown by the white handprints that you can see. This is where somebody's been somewhere, touched something, not done anything to their hands, and then moved on. And again, these organisms could be quite virile and quite long lasting, so then the next person will pick them up. So it's really important that we do get our hand hygiene correct, so we protect everybody. We want to keep you safe, so please don't take any germs home with you, and wash your hands properly.